Hello, Maurieo Vlogs number 280, Boat Ramp. Hello, welcome. Well, so as you can see, it was a beautiful day today. Temperatures were quite high, so I thought, it's a lovely day to be outside. So I went down to the base at Hamilton and got myself a pita pit, from the pita pit shop, in a brown paper bag, and I drove down here to the Puketi boat ramp and thought I parked up under some shady trees, which I'll show you a bit later on. And then once I've had my pita, I went and had a bit of a look around and see what's going on here. I've never been here before, but quite a lovely spot. Bit of a story. There's the local butcher here in Narrawahia. Well, he used to be the local butcher, is missing, and presume that he may have come to grief in the river. So there was a few people around the boat ramp when I got there, involved in the search for this guy. So it's a bit of a tragedy, really. The old guy, and suffering from sort of mild dementia and things like that. So there's a lot of concern at the moment. So I waited until they'd left before I took some photographs. But you can see there was a little missing photograph there. Interestingly, too, in my reading of the boat ramp, I read that the police recovered 7 cars from the bottom of here a while back. So it's obviously a good spot for disposing of stolen cars and vehicles or what have you. It's also connected with a little cycleway that runs all the way from Narrawahia in the, and beyond in the north, through to Cambridge in the south. And it's relatively popular. A few bikes went past, but it is midweek. So that's where I parked up under those trees in the shade there to have my pita pit, and you can see in here the how you can drive into the boat ramp and put your boat in, and then there's quite a bit of parking and that around. So these facilities are provided by the Hamilton City Council for people to use for recreational purposes and what have you. So yeah, and there's indication of the cycleway and the walkway. So yeah, pretty good stuff. So now let's have a look at today's background, and it's this guy here. He's a pretty important figure, I suppose, in the life of the city. And there's a statue of him in, I think, is it Garden Place? I always get confused. There's Garden Place and Centre Place, but I think it's Garden Place. And that's where the City Council buildings are, a statue of this chap here. So I want you to tell me who he is, and obviously what his significance is to this area. Obviously there you can see from the black and white photograph that it's possibly from olden times, possibly even the early days of photography. But anyway, I'll leave that all up to you. Now, yesterday's guy was probably from around about the same sort of era, and this is William Salto Davidson, and he was responsible for the first shipment of refrigerated meat from New Zealand, and in fact in the world. The wool price had plummeted, and so they were looking for alternative uses for the sheep, and they decided that sheep meat would be good. Initially they tried canning the meat and sending it overseas, but it proved to be, although popular in the islands, not so popular in Europe. So that's when they hit upon the idea of refrigerated or chilled meat over to Europe. And it was a success and a start of a huge industry, and part of the New Zealand's history of providing primary produce to the world. because of our climate here, we're able to produce grass-fed sheep and beef without housing them inside, and relatively efficiently. So yeah, that's what this guy did, and Moz came up with that guy's name. He was the first one in. So well done, Moz. And let's just go back. Here's today's guy background. Now, I want to thank everybody for subscribing and liking and commenting on my videos. I'm using what spare time I have to pop around and have a look at other channels. And one of the things I'm doing is looking at some of the ideas that people use in their vlogs, so that I might be able to use those ideas in my own vlog. Especially as I'm operating daily, I need to come up with at least one idea a day, and so it's some getting some feedback and things like that by watching others is good. So I hope that if you like some of my ideas, or wonder why I do things or how, that please contact me and make a comment. I'm only too happy to help and answer your questions, and perhaps if you think I could offer helpful advice, I'm more than happy to do that. So I hope you all have a wonderful day. I certainly have. Cheers. See you.